am sick. And I was sick for the last video as well, and I felt like my energy was so limited, and I feel like my energy is like limited today as well. Again, I thought for like this Bookmas video, I'm like cheating right now, and I was like, oh, let me just do like a little Q&A. Let me just like do a little Q&A that requires very little effort on my end, and that'll be fun for everyone. So that's what we're doing. Sorry. But welcome to Bookmas. Glad that you're here. I swear there's so many more fun videos planned. It's just, I was like, I can't film right this second. So this is what we're doing. I asked on my Instagram any questions that you guys had for me, and you guys gave me some questions, some good questions, so I thought I would pick a couple and like go through, and we could just have a little quick sit down, like, I was gonna say get ready with me, but I don't wear makeup, so I am ready, but I thought we could just like sit down and just like hang out and stuff like that. So let's do that. The first question that I got was, if you could do or be anything you wanted in life, what would you be doing? I love this question. I love this question so much. If I could be doing literally anything, let me tell you what I would be doing. I would be in a cottage. I would have a little farm, like a homestead type farm. I would be surrounded by books, like wall to wall, like books, floor to ceiling books, all just everywhere books. I would have like a ginormous found family. Like that sounds like a lot of fun. And there'd be like little kids running around and all that stuff. And we would have meals, like family meals, found family meals, like every single night, because I would always be cooking. I love to cook, so we would like be in the kitchen and we'd be cooking and we would be drinking like, I don't know, white wine. I'm allergic to most alcohol, so I'm not drinking alcohol, but like I would definitely go for some of those sparkling grape juice bulges thing or whatever. That would be fun. But then like I think like literally anything, like how anything, because I would totally like, I would go on like dragon rides, and I think that would be fun if like I had a pet dragon on the homestead, and then we could go on like dragon rides and stuff like that. Or if like there was magic in the system. Are we talking like you could do or be anything? Is this like our realm or like any realm? Because if we're in any realm, I'm choosing like a fantasy realm, okay? But I'm still like in a cottage on like a little homestead. Like there's gonna be like animals and stuff like that, but also magic and dragons and stuff like that as well. And I think it'd be also really cool if it was near like a pond or whatever. Like a pond. I was gonna say ocean, because I would love there to be mermaids, but I think pond is better. Not for like the mermaids, obviously, but like, because then you could have like a koi fish pond. And I feel like koi fish are kind of like dragons, if like they're dragons of the sea. So that would be my answer. Favorite and worst read ever. Okay, I'm gonna start off with like the more negative one first. And it's not my worst read ever. It just was really, really hard, and I still haven't finished it. Like I softly DNF'd this book. But it would be The Thursday Murder Club, and honestly, it's not that it's a bad book. It's not that it's a bad book. It's just so, like, you have to be in a very specific mood, and I feel like it's very jarring, and it's kind of dry humor, which is just not my style, really. Like, I think honestly, I think it's just like the style of the book, because the plot sounds really cool. Like, it's a Thursday murder club, and it's like this geriatric ward, and they have this like Thursday murder club, and then they recruit like an actual detective, and she's like, no, I'm not in your club. And they're like, yeah, you are. And they kind of like go off to like solve this murder. And it sounds so cute and fun, but I just could not get into it. And I'm not sure if that was just my life at that moment I couldn't get into it, or if like in general it's just not my cup of tea. I've kind of realized that there's a lot of books that I've tried to really get into because other people are into it, and I just realized like I'm just not that type of a person. Favorite ever? Goodness gracious. Well, like right now, I really love the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. But I feel like, okay, can I choose a favorite book for each genre? Like, could I do that? Because I feel like that would be better. Because I have so many favorite books, but they're favorite books for very specific reasons. Like, for instance, like in fantasy, I would say 100% the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Like, hands down, that series had me in a chokehold. I was obsessed with those books. And like, if you aren't familiar with the Once Upon a Broken Heart, or Caraval is the first like 3 sets of books, but you don't have to read Caraval in order to read Once Upon a Broken Heart. But if you want to go back to Caraval, I would read Caraval first. Like, if you're not going to read Caraval at all, like, don't worry about it. But if you read Once Upon a Broken Heart and you're like, oh, I really want to read Caraval now, you're gonna spoil things for yourself. So it has nothing to do with each other, but it makes references and you will spoil it for yourself. So I would read Caraval first if you haven't read Caraval or plan on reading Caraval at some point. I would just read it first. But the Once Upon a Broken Heart series is about Jax, the Prince of Hearts, and Evangeline, and it's the Archer and the Fox ballad of the Ballad of the Archer and the Fox, yeah. And it's so cute, and like, I just love a man who can't communicate but shows you. You know what I mean? Like, he's communicating through services. I think I have said this before. I am an acts of service girly. Like, don't tell me that you love me. Just don't tell me. Our entire relationship will be fine. Show me. I need to see. Because in my head, love is an action verb. Like, in my head, love is an action verb. You have to be doing it in order to be able to, like, if you were like, oh, I'm running right now. Like, no, I'm not. I'm filming. I'm not running. So, like, love is an action verb. There has to be an action. Okay? Okay? So, I love Jax because he is an acts of service kind of a guy. Like, he may say something, but he's not doing that. So, he's amazing though. And he's so great. He was so good. Like, all 3 books, he was so good. And that series just had me in a chokehold. I think if I had to choose like a favorite book for romance, I think, oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna cheat a little bit. If I had to choose a series or not a series, but like a book for romance, I would choose Indigo Ridge, which is like a cowboy romance book by Deveny Perry, Deveny, Deveny Perry. I believe that's the author's name. And that is another show not tell. Like, it's another show not tell. And I love that. Like, I love that. It's so good. And I was crying at the end. Like, I was crying so hard. It destroyed me. Anyways, so yeah, I would choose that for romance. And then if I could do contemporary fiction, I would choose Happy Place by Emily Henry. And I know that's cheating because that's definitely a romance, but I don't care. I would choose Happy Place because, once again, we are doing acts of services. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm an acts of service kind of a girl. But Happy Place is, yeah, Happy Place by Emily Henry. When/why did you fall in love with reading? This is a great question. Okay, so I think I always was a reader. I'm pretty sure. Like, when I was a little kid, I have 3 brothers, and we had 1 TV. And we were only allowed to watch TV for 30 minutes a day, and that was it. Like, you had to be outside, or like if it was like rainy or whatever. I also grew up in Maine, and so like it got cold in the wintertime, And you just always had to be doing something because TV just wasn't an option. We weren't allowed to really watch it. I would come home, I would watch Zoom, and then I would go off and do my homework, and then I would go find something else to do. So I figured out that when I read, I see pictures. I know some people see words when they read. I see like a movie screen. So I'm watching this happen in real time. And I figured out that when I read, it was kind of similar to me watching TV. So I got into it. Like, I would read so much. And I just got really obsessed with reading. And then I also got really obsessed with like learning things, because I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes authors will put in like the most random facts in their books. And for whatever reason, like that just sticks with me. It just sticks with me forever. I can't even think of like a fun fact at the moment because I'm talking about it, but it'll stick with me. And so I got obsessed when I was reading. I got obsessed with finding like little fun facts. My grandmother, may she rest in peace, my grandmother used to buy every encyclopedia. Like they used to, so, okay, this is like embarrassing. Back in the day, there used to be this guy that would go from house to house and he would be selling encyclopedias. My grandmother bought every single one. Like every single time a guy showed up to sell encyclopedias, my grandmother would buy it. This is before, like, we didn't have internet. I don't even think we had a computer at the time. So there was like no internet, no computer. There's no Google. Like Google's not a thing. It's not even like a thing. Google came out in 1998. We had encyclopedias. And I would literally go downstairs, I would grab an encyclopedia, I would take it to my room, and I would just read it. Like I don't know what it is. I just was like so obsessed with reading encyclopedias and learning all these like random fun facts. My favorite encyclopedias were the letter F because I really liked frogs at that time. I would grab that, and then I would, what else would I do? I don't know. I just really liked reading when I was a kid. And then I got to college and I was like a weird person, and like I was so weird in college. And then I graduated, and then I moved to San Diego, and I always had books. Like I've always had books in my home and stuff like that. Like I always loved to collect books and like read books and stuff like that. But when I was in San Diego, and I don't know if it's just because the people I was around, but I was trying to read more memoirs and stuff like that. And I would read like more like self-help and like informational, so like psychology and stuff like that. I had like a lot of books like that. I didn't really have like these. I'm not saying, like, if you read memoirs for fun, like that's to each their own. I have read quite a few memoirs that I really did enjoy. For instance, the Dave Grohl, The Storyteller memoir. I love that one. Also, Haley Burton, I love her memoir. Like so good, so good. So I have read memoirs that I like, but I would say that these are more like fun books for me. And I don't want to like use that as in like those books were not fun. I'm just saying like these are like, it's like hopscotch and band. You know what I mean? Like it's fun in different ways, okay? So, yeah. So I started when I was young. I've always been into reading, but I would say like when I started doing this was like once the Panini came around. Like once the Panini happened in 2020 and like everything shut down and I was back in my room again, I was like, oh yeah, like what did I do when I was a kid and I was stuck in my room? Oh, that's right, I read. And so I started reading, and then I started reading a lot, and then I was getting involved in like book clubs, and then I was reading even more, and now I have this channel where I get to talk about my books. So that's always fun. Why did I fall in love with reading? Probably because I couldn't watch TV as a kid. Anyways, that's all that I have for you today. This was fun though. I wanted to keep it kind of short just because like it's just like a little Q&A, and it's kind of hard to like keep people's attention like this unless I'm doing something. That's it. I'm so sorry. I feel really bad because I just don't feel so good, but I'm hoping that I kick this within the next day or two. I'm just gonna take like a second to relax and not film tomorrow, and then I'll film again and try to upload more videos. But this was fun, and I hope you had a good time. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully tomorrow. I'm hoping that there's a video tomorrow. I'm hoping that I'm only taking one day off and then we're back to it. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. Please like, comment, subscribe. If there's any other Bookmas videos that you guys want to see, like, let me know down below and I will keep a list. Even if I don't do it for Bookmas, like, I can still do the video. You know what I mean? Unless it's like very specific Christmassy and not like winter themed, because I'm not super, how do I say this? Tomorrow is the 12th for me. So today is the 11th. So you guys have time to continue to give me ideas for Bookmas. So anyways, I'm gonna let you go. Also, we fixed this a little bit. It looks better, right? It looks much nicer, doesn't it? I think it looks cool. Anyways, okay, I'm gonna go. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe. I really like when people subscribe. It makes me happy. Okay, goodbye.